Bell rings, get in the square circle, it's time. The Boxing Biz podcast is live. Call in and state your mind, but get checked if you're stepping out of line. Jab right hand combination. We're interviewing fighters from every nation. The phone lines are busy. Have some patience. Your 3 minutes are up. No more conversations. The Boxing Biz, where we handle our business. Handle your business. We handle our business. Where we handle our business.
Dumatron activated.
Shout out to the whole boxing community. You're here at the Boxing Biz podcast show. Early morning, 7 in the morning. Road work. So hope you're starting off your day. Got your coffee ready, maybe your green juice or any other breakfast delight that you pick for yourself. However, this morning we are having an early morning fight. Brian Norman Jr. takes on Jin Sasaki. And Sasaki's making his way right now to the ring. Got himself on a nice little flare. You know, I don't know how cold it is in Japan, but my man got a nice little fur on. Got the fur on the jacket. Fufu. I don't know what fufu means, but you got fufu on each side. And if you guys saw the actual highlight for Jin Sasaki, man, this guy's been tearing shit up. You know, he's been fighting Japanese fighters, but guy's been really putting guys out. So excited to see what Jin Sasaki can do with an American style and Brian Norman Jr. Shout out to everybody tapping into Facebook family, YouTube family, X family. Appreciate y'all. And if you want to tap in, of course, you can always do that by using the StreamYard link that I throw up there on the chat. You can tap in with us. If not, you can go ahead and join our Discord, the Boxing Biz Discord. And guess if you need a number, I think it's a 9661. Or just take a look at the actual name and you'll find it. Again, shout out to everybody tuning in here on the Boxing Biz. Hoy. Giving you a couple of jabs right now. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but the announcement's already happening. They just announced Brian Norman Jr. to the ring. Shout out to Brian Norman Jr. Cross the planet, representing American boxing, stepping in and challenging himself, right? He's the champ, but he's traveling to defend his title. Great exposure for Brian Norman Jr. for the Japanese market. There he goes. There he goes. Brian Norman Jr., champ. Wow. 10 fights in Mexico for Brian Norman Jr. when he was starting. So you know my man Brian been fighting. Brian's been fighting. He's been traveling. He was out in Mexico, living la vida loca. Lemon water's the best. Brian Norman Jr. in the ring, wearing the assassin boxing outfit. Shout out to my man James Valdez. Says, what it do me? You know what it is, champy. Early morning. Mr. Lennon over here announcing the start of the national anthem for both countries. And Brian Norman Jr. looks in dog shape, man. Damn. I don't know if you guys could hear the... Let me know if you guys can actually hear the national anthem being played. That would be nice if somebody can let me know if they can actually hear that. just to make sure, I know exactly what you guys and myself can hear, because YouTube will step up and try to shadow realm my ass. Or the gallantly streaming in the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night, that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Come on, champs. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let's go. Brian Norman Jr. Caught the goosebumps off of that. Look at Jin Sasaki stepped up with some type of flag that's got the signature of many people on it. Wow. It's something special about national anthems, It's that country pride. They're playing the Japanese national anthem, which sounds very nice, actually. Sounds like a musical. James Valdez says, patriotic doom. America, stand up. You're daggone right, champ. This country's giving a lot to the kid. And trust me, if you lived in any other country, you would appreciate America even more. Regardless of all the complaining that we hear. Jin Sasaki representing Japan. And there you go. That's it. See, after all the gentlemen-like actions, it's time to get real crazy. It's time to get brutal. It's time to get ferocious. It's time for boxing. Ohashi Promotions. Chill, champ. Gustavo Olivieri. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Bam! Early morning, you getting in here with the road work. You feel me? Doomy been doing this for a while. I'm trying to really ramp things up. So, guys, help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell if you like what you're listening to. And, of course, you can always tell a friend to tell a friend and smash that like button, right? Helps us with the visibility of the show. Absolutely free, so stop playing. Stop playing. 64 so far on. Hit that tappity tap and let me commentate this fight for you. You could literally shut off ESPN commentating and I got you. Oh, excuse me. All right, it's showtime. My man Jimmy Lennon Jr., the defending world champion, fighting out of the corner. What? 66.6 kilos. Yo, kilos and meters. Looks like the entire world uses the metric system except us in America. My man representing Atlanta. Look at Brian Norman Sr. Brian Norman Sr. look like he'll knock somebody out. Yo, Brian Norman Sr. look like one of the bros you hang out with. That's it, the assassin. The assassin's made his way to Japan. Damn. Let's see if they got this samurai that's ready to try to stop him. Jin Sasaki was showing some real crazy highlights, man. I don't know if you guys caught that. Hachiochi, Tokyo, Japan. Hachiochi, Japan. Man. Yo, the world's so nice, man. I hear great things about Japan. My brother-in-law actually took a trip over there a couple times. Can't get enough of Japan. Here we go. Let's go. All right. They introducing Jin Sasaki. Man, Jin Sasaki. Gustavo Tomas, the referee tonight. All right, man. The action's ready to start. Make sure you got your coffee ready. You're on your way to the job. Or you're on your way back. Shout out to all my graveyard shift champs out there. Brian Norman, 24. Jin Sasaki, 23. Looks like the stats are just about exactly the same. All right, round one. Round one has started. Jin Sasaki already throwing some bombs and trying to put pressure on Brian Norman Jr. Nice little pace they just started with. Looks like Jin Sasaki is really trying to attack. Throwing jabs to the body. Both Norman and Sasaki right now just exchanging jabs. It's going to set the pace right now to see what kind of fight we're going to be having here. From what I'm looking at right from the beginning, it looks like Jin Sasaki gets clipped with a left hook and gets knocked down. Damn. Jin Sasaki just got clipped. Catching the 8 count. Got caught cold. Is Brian Norman Jr. going to make this an early morning? Don't go anywhere. Don't go put more sugar in that coffee. You're going to miss out. Brian Norman Jr. is not playing. Already has knocked down Jin Sasaki and is beginning to put the pressure on him. 1 minute, 52 seconds. Good overhand right by Jin Sasaki, but then gets clipped again. Trying to get in a firefight with Norman Jr. Jin Sasaki down for the second time. First round, 1 minute, 39 seconds. Can Brian Norman Jr. finish the job in 1 round? Oh, my goodness. Jin Sasaki, high guard. A little more tentative now. He's got to respect Brian Norman Jr.'s power. He's got to respect it. I don't know what he thought he was going to do out there to try to throw bombs with Norman Jr. Not a good idea for Jin Sasaki. Jin Sasaki manages to land a couple of left hooks, one to the top and one to the gut. Still trying to create a war with Brian Norman Jr. 1 minute left in the first round. 2 knockdowns already by Brian Norman Jr. Impressive power by Brian Norman Jr., man. Knows how to wing those punches. Jin Sasaki still trying to put pressure, coming forward with his own jabs. Changing levels, throwing his own left hook. Really trying to put pressure on Brian Norman Jr., but Brian Norman real comfortable with the firefight, man. Jin Sasaki clips him 2 more times with the left hook, pushing Brian Norman Jr. back. Jin Sasaki is really trying to wail and turn this into a real serious firefight. I think he should try to be very careful if he's going to decide to do this with Brian Norman Jr. 20 seconds left. Jin Sasaki comfortable with teeing off a little bit on Brian Norman while he was on the ropes, but Brian Norman turns it around and starts to wail on Jin Sasaki. Head-to-head, close guard. Good right hand by Brian Norman Jr. Looks like we're going to end this round with the fight still on. Jin Sasaki walking back to the corner, smiling right now. Smiling. Yeah, you better wake the hell up. I don't know what was in the game plan, but look at this highlight. He got caught reaching with his right hand and got clipped by Brian Norman Jr. As you can see, he tried to throw an overhand right. That overhand right was like 20 feet away from Brian Norman's face. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Brian Norman able to take advantage and clip Jin Sasaki on that second try. Jin Sasaki's got to do something to deliver that left hook to the body and head. a little more sneaky. He has to come in and maybe throw a few more jabs, put more pressure on with the jab, and then go ahead and start throwing these bombs. He's getting into the mid-range and trying to whale punches, and he's coming up short and getting clipped by Norman Jr. All right, round 2 of a 12-round fight. 2 knockdowns already by Norman Jr., and we've begun the second round a little more cautious. Never mind. Jin Sasaki continuing to go on the inside and attack. Brian Norman Jr. able to tussle, grapple, kind of switch it around. Referee steps in to break it up. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Jin Sasaki egging Brian Norman Jr. on to get into a firefight. Jin Sasaki's really counting on this firefight to try to open up Brian Norman Jr., but he gets clipped again with some good shots. Brian Norman Jr. using his footwork to get around Jin Sasaki's right side. Good shot again, land by Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. right now smelling blood. Jin Sasaki tries to bob and weave, drops his hand, gets clipped again. Jin Sasaki's starting to have a little bit more resistance, though, to Brian Norman Jr.'s punches. Brian just caught him a couple of times, and he kind of walked through them a little bit. So let's see how comfortable Jin Sasaki gets in that ring. Norman not making it easy at all to get comfortable, throwing some hellish body shots, measuring him up with that left jab. Second round, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Good right hand. Lands slightly blocked by Norman Jr. Jin Sasaki still trying to create a firefight here. Another left hook by Jin Sasaki, slightly blocked by Norman Jr. Norman Jr. now targeting the body. Stiffen him up with that jab. Jin Sasaki, high guard. Good overhand right hand by Norman Jr. in an attempt to throw a power shot. Another jab by Norman Jr. Sasaki returns a jab to the gut. He keeps reaching, though, man. Sasaki keeps reaching with these punches. Not a good look. Almost looked like Jin Sasaki was going to go into a Floyd Mayweather stance for a second. He's edging forward, high guard, low, trying to throw his combinations. Norman Jr. in the corner uses the side door to get out. 30 seconds left of the second round. You can see that the fight is starting to develop. It's a little slower now. They're starting to think a little more. I mean, Jin Sasaki, because Jin Sasaki came out throwing bombs. Good left body shot attempt by Sasaki, pinning Norman against the ropes right now. Lands a good left shot. Norman Jr. trying to return in a firefight with Jin Sasaki. Doesn't mind at all. Nice, man. This is a nice fight. This is a good fight. I'm glad I got up for this one. Jin Sasaki's not. He's not laying down, y'all. Landed a nice shot, but took his own right hand in the highlight. See, Jin Sasaki, he lands his left, but he gets caught with a right by Norman. Almost gets knocked down again. Right now, what's the advantage right now? It's the actual range. Brian Norman Jr. is winning the actual range war right here. Jin Sasaki's looking like he's always coming up short. You feel me? He's looking crazy. Matter of fact, demonstration right now. So my man Jin Sasaki right now, he's like this, right? But he's reaching. He's reaching too much. And for y'all that just listening and not able to see me, I'm just saying, I'm giving y'all the example. He's reaching. He gets caught in there, off balance, and he's getting clipped. Jin Sasaki got to do better with that. Excuse me. Round 3, 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Brian Norman using the paintbrush. Jin Sasaki, nice jab to the body, lands. And Jin Sasaki has a real good body jab, real committed. Working real well for him. But still putting pressure on Brian Norman Jr. I'm telling you, man, Jin Sasaki's, if he gets real comfortable with that Brian Norman Jr. power, we might see, Brian Norman Jr. having a blast right now, wailing on Jin Sasaki, Jin Sasaki's in trouble, y'all. Brian Norman Jr. is having his way right now, pinning him against the ropes, scraping the guard to try to open up that high guard to get inside to hit Sasaki with a solid shot. Jin Sasaki is in trouble right now, backing up against the ropes. He's in trouble right now. He's on wobbly legs, Sasaki. Brian Norman Jr. taking his time to wail on bombs as he starts to get closer to scraping that guard. Jin Sasaki catches another body. Jin Sasaki screams at Brian Norman Jr. on some Dragon Ball Z shit and is egging Brian Norman to give him some more. Wow, Japanese fighters, bro. All out. My man went KO Ken times 10 over here. Yeah, this is a fun fight. Just Sasaki's making it fun. He's not going out. You're gonna have to destroy this man right now to get him out. He will not stop coming forward. Brian Norman Jr. has got to finish this guy. This guy looks like he could be dangerous throughout the whole fight, even if he's down. Brian Norman Jr. again trying to land his hard right hand as he taps the guard of Jin Sasaki. Another right hook, uppercut by Norman Jr. Love the way Norman Jr. uses that scrape too, man. I'm a big fan of the scrape. You got to know how you scraping though, because you could get countered if you're too lazy on the scrape. 1-2 for Brian Norman down the center. Sasaki egging him on, saying, come on, you can't stop me. Give me some more. Sasaki has got to do better though in delivering some of his own punishment. Brian Norman, 25 seconds left, and looks very comfortable. Very comfortable in the ring. Looks like we're going to finish this round as well. Sasaki throws another hellish overhand right, but misses by a mile. He's not in the right range. Another right hand lands on the guard of Sasaki by Brian Norman. Another left hook by Brian Norman. Another left hook. Oh, my God. Sasaki's getting his head. I'm pretty sure Sasaki's going to have an ice pack on his head the whole night. Even though he landed this left hook on Brian Norman Jr., Brian Norman is having the better out of the exchanges. Uppercuts landing for Norman. Sasaki's just throwing these bombs, man, and just kind of, I don't see no real setup for the bomb. He's just kind of timing it to Norman's punches to try to catch him in between, which is a good idea too, you know what I mean? You could catch somebody, you know what I mean? And I'll break it down for you guys, but you could catch somebody as they're coming in, you know what I mean? But that's timing and range. You coming in, you can step back, hit, you know what I mean? If you're coming in, make sure that you're using the right distance. If you don't got the right distance, your timing's going to be off. Round four, Sasaki, Norman Jr., same story, man. Sasaki's putting pressure and trying to create something, you know, trying to create some chaos so he can land some of these chaotic bombs that he keeps throwing. Brian Norman Jr., you know, keeping the guard nice and tight, using pure boxing. Liking the skills I'm seeing. Brian Norman Jr., he's not being swayed into a firefight himself. He could just, you know, start to get careless. But the way Sasaki's throwing them, you can't. You get careless, you get clipped. Brian Norman could touch the canvas if he's not careful, but everything he's doing right now is nice, tight, good guard, good boxing. Continuing the jab. Jab for jab so far. 2 minutes left of this fourth round. Just Jin Sasaki right now going into the Mayweather-esque guard. Misses again Sasaki with a left hook. He's getting beat to the punch. That's what's going on. He's getting beat to the punch, and he's out of range. Sasaki's in trouble, y'all. We're in the fourth round. He keeps getting into these firefights, man. It's gonna end up bad for him. Good head movement for Sasaki. Brian Norman Jr. inching forward, staying on Sasaki, creating that pressure. The dirty south on the shorts. Chip. I like the low jab, though, to the body for Sasaki. He covers good ground, too. Covers good ground, Sasaki, when but he needs to, again, set it up with some jabs, maybe some head, feint movements to get into the right distance. Because Brian Norman, he's keeping him at the edge of that jab right now. Again, 1-2 for Jin Sasaki. Talking hellish shit. Yo, Jin Sasaki's been talking shit the whole fight to Brian. Brian Norman on the ropes is very comfortable right now in the phone booth with Jin Sasaki. They're in the phone booth right now. Nothing much happening. Just a couple of shots here and there. Jin Sasaki loves it on the inside. He throws hellish hooks on the inside. I think he just clipped Norman with one, but Norman ate it. Referee steps in, tells Sasaki to be careful with that head. You know, head bunts. We don't want none of that. Wow, excuse me. Let me hit this lemon water. 4th round. Looks like we're going to have another one in the bag. We're going to be going into the 5th round. So far, a good start to a fight, though. 2 knockdowns. Sasaki's making it a war. You know, I really, you know, when you get caught, right hand lands for Brian Norman Jr. on the highlight. Sasaki's crazy, bro. He gets clipped and then he comes back around powering up like Dragon Ball Z. It's crazy. He's like, ah! Shout out to everybody tapping in too, man. Appreciate you. Oh, what's that? I thought I saw a cut. Nah, nobody's cut. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me, man. Early morning road work here on the Boxing Biz. Boom! Jam! Shout out to the Facebook family, YouTube, X. Let's check out the comment section. My man James Valdez says, should have came out with T.I. What you know about that? What you know about that? Coach Rivera, good morning, brother. Good morning, champ. Hope you started off your day right. Stay blessed, no stress. And we are in the 5th round of a 12-round championship fight. Brian Norman Jr., welterweight champion, representing America, took it to the... Oh! My man Jin Sasaki knocked himself out right now. I don't know what the hell that was. He jabbed and he hit a wall and then just fell back. I'm going to have to go back and look at this. That was kind of hilarious. He went to go punch Norman and he fell back. Don't even know what happened. Oh my God! Oh my God! Brian Norman Jr. hits Jin Sasaki with the hook from down under. Oh my God! Jin Sasaki flat out on his back pockets right now, center of the ring. Brian Norman gets down on his knees, bows towards his opponent. Jin Sasaki still on the floor, gets caught with a ball and chain hook. It's over, baby. Brian Norman Jr. retains his welterweight title, and he will be taking on all comers. Y'all don't want a taste of that power. Brian Norman Jr. finished Jin Sasaki. If you're just tuning in right now,
fatality.
Gone with the win. Stick a fork in him.
Finish him.
Stick a fork in him.
Finish him.
He's done.
Finish him.
Jin Sasaki on the floor, knocked out, man. Hopefully my boy gets up, bro. When you get hit that hard, look at this replay. Look at this replay. Oh, my gosh. Hit him with the hook. His whole back vibrated. Jin Sasaki hit the deck off that left hook, bro. Damn. Wow. Y'all got to stop talking shit about Brian Norman Jr. See, Jaron Ennis is talking about that he was just, he's just chasing the bag. That they ain't really about nothing. I don't know, Jaron. This don't look like what you talking about.
You shouldn't talk anymore.
This don't look like what you was talking about. I don't know, champ. Brian Norman Jr. is a problem right now. You better put some respect on my name. All right? I don't want to hear you no more. Brian Norman Jr., man, in shape and coming to pay respects to the camp of Jin Sasaki. Jin Sasaki, obviously up now. He's up. So thank God for that. Shout out to the whole Jin Sasaki camp who definitely, man, have nothing to be ashamed of, man. Jin Sasaki came in there really to bring the fight to Brian Norman Jr. and definitely represented his home country of Japan rightfully and the way that, it's honorable, bro, very honorable people. And shout out to Japan, man. Shit, I got to make my way down to Tokyo, bro. Tokyo. Brian Norman Jr. standing in the center of the ring. Victorious, in super shape, phenomenal shape. I know you guys see that. Wow. Crazy, bro. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Again, shout out to everybody tapping in. And if you want to tap in with us this morning, you can, of course, tap in with us with the StreamYard link that we've put in the YouTube chat. And let's see if we could actually... YouTube chat. That's right, Champy. Let me see if I can actually pin it to the top. Oh, it's already pinned, isn't it? No, it's not. Wow, man. Brian Norman Jr., bro. What a left hook, bro. That left hook shook Sasaki's back. He got hit in the chin. His whole back vibrated. Like his whole body vibrated. Shit was like a ripple effect. You ever throw a rock into a pool? That's what it looked like. Just rippled. Yeah, so if you see the pinned message on the chat on YouTube, you can click on that link. If not, you can actually join us on the Boxing Biz X account, right? Formerly known as Twitter. So go ahead and join us on Twitter or X, whichever one you prefer, right? And tap in with us on X. And you can call us in through X, or if not, visit us on Discord. You can actually tap in through the IG. You can call in through any of these apps. So if you wanted to call in through IG, you can follow us on the Boxing Biz IG. And you're more than welcome to come on the program this morning and tell us a little bit about the fight that we just saw. And if you haven't seen it, maybe you have maybe some future opponents. Let's take a listen. Whoa. There we go. Let's listen to this a little bit.
Yeah, Jin knocked down twice at the first round, but came back strong. How tough he was in the ring against you.
I mean, you've seen it for yourself. He proved himself. It's the reason why he made it up to this standard. It's the reason why he got all these fans that came out with him. So he fought with a whole lot of heart. He fought with a whole lot of dog. And he showed the reason why he will be a future world champion. It's just, there's other belts out there, and I believe he will get those belts.
Brian Norman Jr. being very very nice.
価値に値する選手だったと思っています。で、彼がこれから未来のチャンピオンになっていく、それだけの可能性がある選手であるということを感じました。
そもそも戦略はどういうものだったんですか?
So, like, what was the strategy coming into this bout?
What was the strategy?
I'm a very diverse fighter. I can do this, I can do that, I can brawl if you want to, I can box if you want to, I can counterpunch if need be. So I knew whatever he was bringing to the table, I'm a champion for a reason, and as you see, I showed that.
Let's go, champ. All humble, chill answers.
殴り合いだったらそれもできると思います。なので彼が何を持ってくるかによって自分が何を出していくかというところを考えていました。
Translation.
相手を必要以上に挑発することもなく、戦いでご自身を見せてやるというふうに秘めているようにも感じました。それについては試合の中では全て見せられましたか？
Did you show everything that you have in the ring today? Because it was very much of a gentleman-ish fight that you had against Jin today.
No, I did not show anything. I just showed y'all what I showed in the past, pretty much. The fact that I'm a trail dog and I know how to get the job done. But it's still more out there to show y'all. I'm still working on a lot of things right now.
Shout out to James Valdez, Atlanta. Stand up.
自分の仕事はまだ終わってないなという気持ちでいます。で、今回に関して言うと、まだ全然自分の力は見せていないと思いますし、自分がこれまで何をやってきたかということも含めて見せていけるような試合をまたできたら嬉しいです。
それでは最後になります。
It's super quiet in that arena.
Yeah, you cannot disclose everything.
Super quiet.
But please tell us about your future.
About the future, I mean, I wish I had a certain fight coming up, but they heard B-Norm the storm coming, and you know I know what happens when the storm comes. You grab your boots and run. So.
Oh, he threw it indirect.
October, November, we can get some in, but.
He threw it indirect at Jaron Ennis. Oh shit. Brian Norman not playing with y'all, man. Give him his respect.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Give him the respect.
You heard it from the champion.
Wow.
Brian Norman Jr. making allusions to Jaron Boots Ennis no longer being in the division, taking his boots and running up to 154, saying that's the fight that he wished he could. But that is not available in here.
Wow. There you go, champies.
Knockdowns in this fight. That was
Brian Norman Jr. knocks out Jin Sasaki and then makes comments and alludes to Jaron Ennis running up into the 154 division, alluding to maybe running away from a possible fight with Brian Norman Jr. We're going to see what kind of blowback we get from all this. Absolutely. Shit. Listen, it was fun while it lasted. Now, who do we get now? Brian Norman Jr. retains his title. Where do we go now with Brian Norman Jr.? For all of you that probably thought, Brian wasn't about that business. He just showed you he is. Give me a second. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, man. Brian Norman Jr. handles business, stopping Jin Sasaki, bro. Damn. Bro, he knocked him the hell out. My man Jin Sasaki, he came in with the wrong game plan. I'll tell you that, though. I don't know what the game plan was with Jin Sasaki. I think Brian Norman Jr. too was, super nice and, giving Jin Sasaki props. But the only thing I could give Jin Sasaki props for is, actually going in there and not being afraid to trade. But could have done a better job, to close the gap to get those hard shots in. But Brian Norman, just too much for Jin Sasaki. Boxing IQ was just a little too much for Jin Sasaki. Regardless, great fight for Brian Norman Jr. Staying busy. Good exposure for him, too, on the market for Japan. So, I don't know what other belts Jin Sasaki might be running into, but he still has a chance, right? He was ranked number 2. I don't know where he goes now. I don't know how far down you get knocked down the ladder after losing a fight. But Jaron Ennis, he said you already know what happens when the storm comes. You run and go get your boots and get out of here. Damn. Shout out to that. I mean, Jaron Ennis is already gone, though. I mean, the only way we're going to get that fight, obviously, is if we see Brian Norman Jr. also moving up to 154, and I don't know if we're going to get that anytime soon. Again, shout out to everybody tapping in, man. Hit that subscribe. Stop playing. Hit the like button. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the notification bell. We're on every morning at 7 a.m. here in the early morning road work on the Boxing Biz podcast show. Appreciate you guys. We cover all the fights, bringing you the latest and greatest in boxing news. And again, this is a community-based podcast, so make sure you tap in with us on the chat. You can call in and state your piece, handle your business, and get this community going, all right? So make sure if you want, you can tap in with us on Discord. You can go ahead and tap in with the Boxing Biz on X. So if you wanted to call in, you can use those platforms. We'll bring you onto the show. Like to hear from you guys and see what you guys got to say. This was a very early fight, and I know a lot of people were probably complaining about it, but it was a good fight nonetheless. James Valdez said, "Feed him, Conor Benn. Feed him." Damn. Well, Conor Benn got to come back down. I mean, Conor Benn needs to come back down anyway. I don't think he should stay up there at the 160s. I think he could come down a little bit. We don't know what Conor Benn has going now, man. You know, you move up in weight, they say don't go back down, but, you know, better sciences, better methods nowadays to jump up and down weight classes. So I don't know if that changes, but Conor Benn would be definitely a good one. Conor Benn's a tough fight, too. Conor Benn's a dog, bro. They gave us probably the best fight of the year. I'm still, you know who I'm always looking out for? I'm always looking out for in the 154-pound division. Charles Conwell. I'm always looking out for Charles Conwell, but he's so far down the ladder. And, you know, I don't know if these rankings have been updated, but he's number 13 in the IBF. And I just don't see him in any of the other rankings. I mean, yeah, well, I see him now. He's number 11 in the WBC. So he has rankings in the WBC and the IBF. So, and also in the WBO. Okay, he's number 10, Charles Conwell. He's top 10. Charles Conwell is the guy that I've been looking for, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in his life or whatnot, but you know how they're running him along this boxing career. But Charles Conwell, man, I always thought that Charles Conwell was going to be the monster of that division. I just don't see anybody beating that kid. And, you know, and everybody gets moved along the course differently according to circumstances and whatnot, but yeah, 154-pound Charles Conwell is dangerous. Super dangerous. You have Xander Zayas, that's number 1 in the WBO at 154. He's knocking at the door. There's a vacant title, right? Terrence Crawford gave that up. It's interim. So you have Sebastian Fundora and Virgil Ortiz for the interim for the WBC. Terrence Crawford, Ioannis Dallas interim, Jamel Charlo champion in recess. Okay. And then, of course, you got the killer, Bakram Murtasaliev, which fucking dangerous Russian fighter, man. Bakram is super dangerous. So, you know, the 154-pound division is lit, man. A lot going on in the 154-pound division. And I think right now we're looking at these 3 divisions, right? 140, 147, and 154. It's probably the hot. I mean, I can't say they're the hottest divisions, but maybe I will say that. Middleweight 160, Janibek. So, yeah. I mean, you got some good fighters at middleweight also, but in super middleweight, you got Saul as the I mean, you know, you start to look at the boxing landscape like I'm doing right now, and to be honest with you, man, you have good fights all over the place. It's the matchmaking that has to happen. Definitely the matchmaking. Guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to step away for 2 seconds while I go get the door. Hold on.
About to fight.
Champions.
Everybody out there know I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. But let me talk something. Let me let y'all know. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. 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 I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. He was missing. 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 I controlled the fight. I controlled the fight. I want to.
Damn, I thought I had y'all with the music on. Fuck, long ass gap of silence. Sorry about that, guys. You know, I have a little dog, and when you open the door, he runs out. So, fucking had to go catch a Shih Tzu right now. Sorry. Jeez. Yeah, man. So Brian Norman Jr. takes the dub this morning early, bringing it back to the States, right? And there we go. For show. All right. There we go. All right. Shout out to everybody who's still tapped in with me, man. Yeah, that little gap of silence. Had to go chase my dog down the hallway. My bad. Ah, man. Yo, this is the culprit right here. For everybody looking, this little guy right here. Look at him. This little guy's fast. Fast and the Furious. Yeah, so I'm looking at the boxing landscape, right? And We just got good fights all over the place, bro. These matchmakers got to do the right thing. Brian Norman Jr., who's next, bro? Who's next, bro? We got some title unifications. What are we doing? Jaron Ennis is out of there. That's it. I wonder what's going to happen to that WBA and IBF, though. Like, how is... Because Rolando Romero says regular. He's the regular champion, so I don't know what Jaron Ennis and Rolando are sharing there. Yeah, so there's definitely Brian Norman Jr., bro. He's a threat, man. He's a real threat. Maybe Devin Haney takes on Mario Barrios. I keep looking at Devin Haney right here at the WBC, man, and I just can't help but to think about a Devin Haney Manny Pacquiao fight. Yeah, you know? If Pacquiao manages to get by Mario Barrios and Pacquiao's the WBC champion, there's a super fight for one of these young guys there. If he decides to fight a second time, obviously. But being a champion, 46-year-old champion for Manny Pacquiao, that'd be super crazy. I mean, obviously, you know, going up against a guy like Brian Norman Jr. would be super dangerous. You know, I feel a little edgy about, you know, my man Pacquiao coming back anyway. But if he catches that dub against Mario Barrios, he's just going to be there. He's going to have to fight one of these champs. Unless he gives up the belt, he can always vacate and decide not to fight or just to look for other fights, right? But Mario Barrios can possibly be knocked off the box there. If not, Mario Barrios stays, and he's that WBC 147 champion. And then you could make possible matchups, right? With Devin Haney. Got Alexis Rocha, too, who's actually number 1. I don't know if Alex Rocha was busy, because Jin Sasaki actually took that slot. Jin Sasaki was 2. So I don't know how that worked out. So, yeah, 154-pound division. Definitely Brian Norman Jr. could tap into that. I don't know how he feels making the weight that he makes, but looks like there's no complaints. Even though every time I see these guys at the weigh-ins, you know, they look a little bit sucked in. There's really no way of really telling sometimes. You know, we look for those indicators. Dry mouth, chewing gum, still spitting. You know, to try to tie in some type of overall analyzation, right, of what's really going on in those weight cuts. But Brian Norman Jr. looks like he's comfortable still. And, yeah, man, took the win today. Richard Hitchinson. What else we got for this morning? Besides the live fight commentary, obviously. And, again, everyone that tapped in this morning, appreciate y'all, man. Hit that subscribe. Bang. Smash the like button. Boom. Hulkamaniac that shit. Not even Hulkamaniac. What's my man? Just the Hulk. Hulk smash that. Tell a friend, and definitely share the program so we get it in front of more eyes. Appreciate you guys tapping in for sure. Yeah. Take your boots and run. Take your boots and run. That's what he said about Jaron Ennis. We're going to see how Jaron Ennis responds. You know, I don't know if we get to see a Brian Norman Jr. Boots fight anytime soon. If it's truly that, you know, Jaron Ennis is already out of there. So I think that these are fights that are going to be constantly marinating, you know, as we see them develop. And shout out to everybody who tapped in this morning. It looks like we got everybody. Oh, no, let's go back to James Valdez. Says Barrios after he beats Pac-Man. Yeah, James, man, that's what I'm looking at. You know, Mario Barrios is in that position where, you know, he beats a Manny Pacquiao. He's going to have all that luster with him, you know. He just beat Manny Pac, he has a title, so he's going to have some position to make some decent fights. But if Pac-Man wins, that's the story. See, that's like the X factor in the 147-pound division right now. If you get a Manny Pacquiao that actually wins, right, holds the title, like what do you do then? Like anybody fighting Manny Pacquiao is going to be a super fight. I mean, everybody's tuning into the Mario Barrios and Pacquiao fight. Even though he's old, we want to, something about that super champ that just gets everybody going. We want to see him win. We want to see him do another amazing thing, right? Get another title at 46 years old. So, and, Manny Pacquiao, special kind of guy. Not your regular guy. Yeah, you can get it. No. You can come in. Yeah, regular guy. For sure. Shout out to the wifey. What else we got on here? Looks like my man James Valdez was the most active today. Let's see how our ex family's doing. I gotta hop on X and see how the champies are doing. Let's see. I know we're live right now. All right. Shout out to the X family, man. You got 74 people that were watching on X. So booyah. Shout out to the X fam, man. Make sure you hit that like button on the X too. For all those that are watching on X, on the Boxing Biz account, right? On the X account, on the Boxing Biz. Make sure to tap in and drop a comment. Leave a comment, and maybe you want to leave maybe some topics or maybe some breaking news. This is a boxing community, man. Sometimes you guys get it before I do. So make sure to engage on the lives on X, Facebook, or YouTube. Much appreciated, of course. And let me see what the Facebook fam is doing right now. Barrios, Brian Norman. I don't think anybody's really going to be trying to head into a fight with Brian, man. Brian just, he keeps on showing us that he is a dangerous fighter. Knows how to box. Not for any time that I see Brian Norman Jr. lose discipline and go into, fuck it mode. Everything that I was seeing right now was very composed fighter. Even when you got somebody like Jin Sasaki. Jin Sasaki let everything out the bag. He was trying to really wail on. He was trying to knock Brian Norman. He was praying for a knockout. Praying for a knockout, the way he was throwing those punches. And Brian Norman Jr. just catching. Returning fire. Like everything I was seeing was composed, man. And you got to give him that. You're going to another country. You're out of your element. Oxygen's different, right? Air's different. You got to acclimate. And you still manage to keep composure with a guy that's just wailing on you the way Jin Sasaki was. Shows skill, man, and discipline. Damn. Shout out to Machine Gun Matt. Garces in the building. Says monster performance from Norman. Get that going right, champ. He finished him.
Finish him.
Big time. Finished him. Monster performance. Matt, man, who do you see Brian Norman Jr. Fighting next? I mean, now that he's knocked out Jin Sasaki and shown the kind of skills that does pay the bills. And what did you feel about Jaron Ennis comment at the end there by Brian Norman Jr.? Thought that shit was funny, but is it an even possibility right now for Jaron to have a fight now that he's moving up to 154? You got 2 titles you're leaving behind. Are you leaving them behind? Are you defending them one more time? Or are you out of there? Is it cap? Matt Garces on the return says the commentary said it perfect. Sasaki was very game, but very outgunned. Yeah, he was game all right. But he wasn't even outgunned, man. He was just outskilled. He didn't have what it took to actually land those bombs, bro. Like, he was just wailing. I was kind of disappointed in Sasaki for a second because he was game. He was game enough to be in there in the fire and trade. He didn't just have the discipline and I believe the skill enough to set up the shots that he was trying to land. He would land them on Brian Norman Jr. every now and then out of just luck, throwing bombs in between punches. And honestly, the times that he clipped Brian Norman Jr., has a good chin. I mean, he got clipped a couple of times. And, Jaron Ennis' pops, Bozy, had mentioned that, Brian Norman gets clipped. He gets caught. He's like, what do you think Boots is going to do to him if he clips him? Oh, I don't know. I don't know the type of, fortified chin that Brian Norman Jr. has, but he showed it in this fight. And Sasaki, he's not the biggest puncher. He's not the biggest puncher, but he's a puncher. He has 17 KOs for a reason. So, he's throwing with good enough power to be putting guys down. Jin Sasaki was a hard puncher, and how hard we don't know. He's knocked out 17 guys, obviously, but comparatively, from fighter to fighter, we kind of gauge it out to see if we can actually count that as either weak chins or just hard punching. But Sasaki was hard punching like a mofo this fight. He landed a couple of shots. It didn't phase Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. has a chin, bro. He definitely has a chin, and he's proving it right now. And I don't know if I believe that if he gets touched, right, by a Jaron Ennis, he's going down. You'd have to get touched a couple of times. Now, I'm not saying Sasaki hits harder than the Jaron. Jaron's going to hit harder. But you got to respect Brian Norman's chin. And he has his KOs, man. 21 KOs, bro. He's a puncher. Sasaki should have had a better plan to get in there and trade with Brian Norman Jr. Skills pays the bills. Brian, too, man, he was using that scrape. Y'all saw that? That scrape just be, boom, scraping the guard, landing some tight shots, man. Machine Gun on the return says they should give Norman an opportunity to unify with one of those vacant belts. I really wanted the Boots fight. The matchup between Norman Jr. and Boots is the biggest American fight to make. Damn. Some real bold statements by my man Matt Garces. It is a great fight to make. Jaron Ennis has been in an up-and-up trajectory, and it's time for some real big money fights for Jaron, man. He's been at it for a while. He has a bunch of fights already. Brian Norman, too, man. These guys, they come up. Guys don't want to fight them, and they finally get into that position, man, and they want to milk it. Jaron Ennis is, I hope for him he gets a good money fight coming up. Is it a huge fight, though? Brian Norman Jr. versus Jaron Ennis. Matt Garza seems to think so. Coach Rivera says all this 147 needs to stop running from Rashidi Ellis. Shout out to Coach Rivera. Damn.
Let's go, champ. You feel me?
Shout out to Rashidi Ellis, bro. Been doing it forever, Holmes. Coach Rivera says the call, Ellis talk about a fight, but at the end, nothing becomes. They know is a big risk, low reward for now. Yeah, man, that shit sucks, man. Sometimes that's the case, They just don't want to step in the ring. Too much risk, no reward. It's hard to get fights, man. Shout out to Rashidi, bro. Shidi and Boo Boo, the new murder row. For real, man. There's just some guys that you just don't want to, you'd rather not fight, They're not easy fights. There's a few fighters throughout the ages, man, that have been in that position where you just can't get them in the ring with anybody. It gets real difficult. And obviously other things come into play, but some guys just are avoided. Let's see what we got going on. When streamers profile viewer comments won't show up on the streamers probably on Facebook. All right. What else we got going on here for Brian Norman Jr. this morning? I guess let's see what the social media landscape is talking about, right? All these guys are talking about Brian Norman. Let's see what's going on now. Give that man his respect. He just put Faja Teculo and knocked out Jin Sasaki with an ill-ass left hook. What you gonna say now, champ? I wonder if that bumps him up on the Devin Haney Debo list. Shout out to Bill Haney. What's up now, Bill? Where's Brian Norman Jr. at now? Does the win over Sasaki bring him up a little higher? Anybody want to fight Brian Norman Jr. at the top? You know, did y'all see something? Did you see some chinks in the armor? I don't think so. I don't think so, champs. On the return, Coach Rivera says Sheedy is always ready. Fight now, June 21. He keep himself busy with Team Combat League. Shout out to Team Combat League. That's right. You can stay busy. As long as you stay busy, man, something could pop up. You know how it is, Coach. Matt Garza says, nah, all them boys moving up. Might want to swerve Norman Jr. Yeah, they swerving him, champ. They all swerving. Nobody wants to fight him. You know, James Valdez, I think, had mentioned Conor Benn with Brian Norman Jr. That could possibly be a big fight. Conor Benn ranked number 3 at the WBC. I don't know where the hell he's at in any other of the, I think 6 in the WBA. Yeah, I mean, look, man, Brian likes to travel, likes to go to different countries. Shit, man, Brian Norman versus Conor Benn in England. Brian Norman goes out, conquers. The Redcoats are coming. The Redcoats are coming. Go fight Conor Benn. See, we got some fights where he could defend this title, make good money. You know, we're always chasing the iron, right? Always chasing to get all the hardware. But if none of these guys want to give him a break, you know, none of the American fighters are trying to fight, man, hey, jump in there with a Conor Benn. It's true. Jump in there with a Conor Benn. I don't know how Conor Benn's doing it right now, though. How does he drop that weight? You know, is it going to be hard for him to come back down to 147? Shout out to Coach Rivera. Says Sheedy is 21-0 in Team Combat League is not even fair. Laughing my Yo, fuck it, man. Let him shine, champ. He's shining right now. Skills pay the bills. Fuck it. The bills pay. I mean, the skills pay the bills, bro. Fuck it. Yeah, he's gonna. Again, if you look at it for what it is, bro, Brian Norman Jr. is not the guy people are gonna be chasing to go fight either. You saw how it was for Jaron Ennis, right? Nobody wanted to fight him. You know, until they had to fight him. Brian Norman Jr. just needs to keep winning and stay healthy, keep knocking him down, and opportunities are going to open up. You know, he has the title. You know, he has the title, and eventually these guys, you know, this is why the sanctioning bodies need to do what they need to do, man. You know, shout out to the IBF right there. Cheers. Shout out to the IBF, bro. Always making sure people are fighters and promoters and everybody else is on the straight and narrow. You know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. You got to do the right thing. The other sanctioning bodies, I don't know. You could get around, you know. You could get around. Give me a second. Sometimes you could get around certain things based off whatever sanctioning body you're representing. You know, these guys got not the mafia, but these sanctioning bodies, sometimes they move a little crazy. They move a little crazy, man. Actually, let me see if I get any breaking news here. Okay. No breaking news. I want to see the talkers, bro. I want to listen to the talkers. What are the fighters saying right now? You know, that's what I'm interested in. I don't know if Devin Haney got up at 7 a.m. to watch the fights. I don't know if he's a fan like that of boxing. I'm not saying directly with Brian, but shit, I would have watched the fight. Shout out to again to Coach Rivera. Says I want Conor versus Zayas. Yeah, I want that too. Listen, I've been rooting for Zayas forever, bro. Zayas is a good young man. You know, he's kept busy. He's moved up. And Xander Zayas, man, this kid has a frame. Like he's gonna go past 154, bro. He's gonna be a middleweight, easy middleweight. Xander Zayas. But I mean, he's number 1 in that WBO spot, bro. So it's a vacant title. So by Terrence Crawford. So maybe Xander Zayas fights somebody else for that title in that WBO. You got George Garcia Perez, Tim Tszyu, Josh Kelly, Serhii Boychuk at number 6. That's a super dangerous fight, though. Serhii Boychuk is dangerous for anybody, bro. That Ukrainian fighter, bro, is a monster. Serhii Boychuk it's one of those freaking. It's one. You know, you got some human beings in this life that were just built to fight. This guy was built to fight. Serhii Boychuk. He's got good punch resistance. He's in your face. High output. Dangerous fight, though. So, depends who they fight for that vacant, coach. You know? Matt Garces says, Doomy, how long would you tell Norman to wait for a big fight before he also needs to move up? For a big fight before he also... how long would you tell Norman to wait for a big fight before he also needs to move up? I mean, it's really how comfortable Brian is at that weight. If Brian's comfortable at that weight, you know, he can play around at that weight, and you know, he can wait maybe a year. We got another half left of the year, right? We could say that he could get one more fight in, right? And the following year he could get another 2-3 fights. So, you know, if we're talking about within 3 fights at the 147-pound division, if nothing happens, then he can move up. He can vacate. But smart thing to do is, you know, to actually vacate and leave the belt, right? Not have the belt taken from you because you're not taking on challengers by any of the sanctioning bodies. So, yeah, that's my take on that. Coach Rivera says, you're right, and many people criticize him because of TCL, but it keeps him ready, fresh, and is a good paycheck. Hell yeah, bro. Fuck what they're talking about. Shit, skills pay the bills, right? Keep using them skills. Staying active, and people are always going to talk shit. And maybe something to open up. Matt says, with WBO, he can fight the champion above home, right? With the WBO, he can fight the champion above home. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, when you have a title and you know, you're going into the upper weight class, yeah, you got better positioning, man. If you're a champ, you can go into that division and challenge another champion. Yeah, you can do that. And we all know what's waiting for him at the top. You know, you got Terrence there. You got Sebastian Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, Bakram, Muriel. So, you know, if he's going straight into a fight with any of these guys, I mean, yeah, it's a huge thing. Just again, it depends where these guys are at in the current boxing landscape. Are they busy? Are they doing something? So it's all about timing. On when he decides to move up, we got to take a close look and pay attention to what's going to be going on in the championship. You know, title unifications, or if anybody's giving anything up. We take a look at what's going on in the 154. As Brian Norman Jr. decides to move up, he's got to be looking at the landscape above him, making sure that he's moving at the right time so that he's in line to negotiate or ask for any particular fight that might put him in a better position for a title. So it's just about looking at that boxing landscape and paying close attention to scheduling, man, and just talking. He's going to have to be, well, you know, management, promotional company, whoever's pushing him is going to have to be paying attention to all of this. But he can move up into a title contention if he's coming up with a title. And you just never know. This is boxing. Can move the pieces around pretty good. It's chess, not checkers, champ. Champ. All right, man. Everybody that's tapping in, bro, make sure you hit that boom like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like listening to what we do here in the morning, early morning road work on the Boxing Biz podcast show. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend, and hit our social medias up also. We are on Instagram, the Boxing Biz, Facebook, X. So check us out on X. And I know that right now we are live on X and Facebook as well as YouTube. So appreciate you guys always tapping in with us, building the community. Shout out to all the OGs. All right. And looks like let's take a look at look at this. I think this was just posted 24 minutes ago by the Ring Magazine. And before we go into it, let me just read what my man Machine Gun Matt said. He said, that could be a fire in-house fight for Top Rank. If Sander can hold that WBO, Norman could ask the WO to challenge and move up after another defense in October. All right, my man Matt. Matt the promoter. Matt the manager right here. Yeah, that would be a firefight with Zayas. Hard fight for both fighters. I think that Zayas now, where is he at with actual numbers of fights, Xander Zayas? I think he's still, you know, did he crack the 20 fights already, Xander Zayas? Let's see what he's got in the bag. Yeah, Xander's already cracked that 20, man. So 21-0 for Xander Zayas. Already cracked that 21. So, yeah, man, he's ready for all comers, Xander. Xander just needs to get that title. And he'll be fighting George Garcia Perez in Madison Square Garden for that WBO World Super Welterweight vacant title. So, yeah, he handles business. Definitely. Yeah. George Garcia ain't doing nothing. I don't even know. Well, you just never know and never know. Never know. Wait a minute. He beat Charles Conwell? No, he didn't. Split decision with Charles Conwell. I got to go back and see that. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I've been out of it. I cannot believe I didn't see that fight. I thought Charles Conwell was still undefeated, y'all. I feel like a straight boxing rookie right now. Damn. When I get off, I'm seeing this fight. Charles Conwell lost to George Garcia Perez. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, Charles Conwell is a monster. I didn't see Charles losing at all, bro. Holy cow. And this happened in April? Oh, I got to go back and see this. This is a split decision. I just went off topic there, guys, because I just seen Charles Conwell in George Garcia Perez's box rec, dog. He beat him. Get the fuck out of here. All right. So, yeah, you're right, Matt. That could possibly be a thing, right? I got to go back and see what kind of fight Charles Conwell had with George Garcia Perez to see what I can make of a fight with Xander. But, you know, I'll be rooting for Xander. Xander, you know, holds that title. Yeah, you're right. Going up right to the same sanctioning body, Matt, we can make better negotiations to make that happen, and more likely to happen if that's the road to take. But dope, man. Damn. Got to go back and watch that Conwell fight, though. Jeez. Right now, in my mind, I'm like, yo, he's undefeated. No bueno. Shout out to everybody again, guys. It looks like we'll definitely be back for another episode for lunchtime, right? We're going to finish it out here, but we'll be back for lunchtime. We're trying to get the schedule right. We don't know if we come back at 1 or 3 o'clock. So just make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, and smash the like button. You know what I mean? Like, smash it so it just stays stuck. So every episode we come on, it's just liking it by itself. Nah, just kidding. But, yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We appreciate all of you guys, man. And we love it when you guys tap in on the chat. And, of course, you guys can call in, even though some of you are gun shy. You can call in through Discord. If you guys want to join our Discord, go ahead and join us on the Boxing Biz Discord. Check us out on X. Make sure you friend us. You can call in through X Spaces or X. So make sure that you're using these social media platforms to tap in here with the show. For all my YouTube fam, as you can see, I have that StreamYard link at the top pinned on the chat. So if you wanted to tap in and maybe give us some words before we go ahead and get out of here, you know, this is your platform as well. So get on here and let us know, let the people know what you think is next for Brian Norman Jr. Is Devin Haney or any of the other maybe supposed opponents willing to fight a Brian Norman Jr.? Are they taking a fight with Brian Norman Jr.? You know, I hear all this stuff about, you know, fighters having each other's names in their mouth and that he's using my name just for clout. I just want to know if y'all going to fight. That's all I want to know. Matt says, you got me through the early part of my shift, champ. Champ. Let's go, champy. This is what we're here for. You know what I mean?
Let's go, champ. You feel me?
Shout out to Texas. My whole Texas crew, man. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to my man Super, bro. Sending y'all mad love and blessings. I know it was a hard week for y'all, so appreciate you guys, man, always. And just sending mad love and blessings, man, to you and the whole family. Jam! For all my Mexican brethren. Looks like we ain't leave nobody out. Yep. Looks like we got everything good. All right, guys, man. We're going to close this one up. Brian Norman Jr. versus Jin Sasaki live fight commentary. We have these all the time. Whether it be early in the morning, afternoon, or late night, you could catch us here doing the live commentary for the fights. Check us out on our daily shows, right? Morning show, 7 in the morning, daily shows throughout the afternoon. So we're always tapped in to the boxing landscape. So make sure you hit that notification bell. That's all I can say, man, as we tighten up this broadcast schedule. 7 a.m. road work here on the Boxing Biz, as well as an afternoon program. We're trying to lock it in. We're always on between 1 and 3 o'clock. I'm trying to lean towards 1, but 3 o'clock has been looking pretty good. So if you guys maybe could help me out, because I'm obviously coming on for the people. So if you think the 1 o'clock program is better than the 3 o'clock, let me know. And I'm, setting this schedule up for an after lunch boxing show that I do every day. We got it locked in the morning. And let's see what this boxing landscape looks like. This was a early morning win for Brian Norman. So I'm pretty sure that the boxing reporters and critics are just getting up, getting coffee and brushing their teeth, right? So let's wait to see what opens up. Let's see if my man Devin Haney's list is a little different. Did Brian Norman Jr. maybe jump up in the list? Shout out to Bill Haney. Maybe we could get him on the program. I'm going to have to start calling some people up, man, and getting this a little more activated here on the Boxing Biz. So I don't think there's any more comments. Dumatron was...
Dumatron activated.
We activated, man, early morning, but now it's time to get deactivated. Go get some breakfast and start the day. So again, guys, thank you for tapping in. Thank you for helping us out with the program. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll be back around. Let's go, champ. I'm out of here. Dumatron deactivated.